Oh, man. Oh, man. This was a great episode. This gives us some answers, but of course with this show you get one answer, and it leads to about 50 different questions. So, with the title like Catch and Release, the idea was that, oh, it's just going to be a look at Steven's bathroom. Oh, it's so much more, because we get the return of Peridot. And, yeah, it kind of leads to something we've all been wanting to. It looks like we're getting the start of Peridot's redemption story, really. So we find out also that Peridot has not healed from her wound, quote-unquote, with losing her foot. And now she's stranded, she's desperate, and she forces Steven to try to fix the warp pad, or she'll kill him. Not necessarily. And it turns out that it was really a suit of armor she was wearing. It was a biosuit. Mechanized armor, really. So it makes me wonder, have the gems, with the sign of this armor, does that mean the gems have been modifying themselves? That's interesting. Does that mean Jasper and Lapis probably doesn't have that. She's an older gem. But does Jasper have the same thing? Does she have modifications done to her? Same as Peridot. And that's the whole armor thing was actually, it's kind of funny because I actually saw a webcomic where it kind of talked about this theory, and I was like, that actually makes for a good theory if she's wearing like some kind of constraining armor. Turns out it's right. Yeah, it turns out Peridot is really tiny and pathetic. And a big head. I think, the more I think about it, and this has actually been, I think this has been confirmed recently, that Rebecca Sugar based Peridot off of Zim, from, of course, Invader Zim. And now it clearly shows. Sad, diminutive, yells a lot, and has a really big head, full of her own ego. So, yeah, Peridot is now the Invader. You can call her Invader Perry now. But yes, Peridot is, we find out what Peridot was really up to when she came to Earth. The real reason was not to attack the gems. It was more supposed to be an in-and-out mission. I guess Jasper had other ideas. But yeah, the whole reason they came was for the cluster. And yeah, the cluster, as Peridot says, is something that's hatching. It's growing. But we don't really know what exactly it is. We don't know, but what we do know is it does have some ties to the gem fusions. But there's more to the cluster than that, and it looks like that's going to be the main story arc for the rest of Season 2, is that we're going into a quote-unquote cluster saga, I guess. I guess you can call that's what it's going to be, the cluster saga. But yeah, I'm wondering, why was, again, it doesn't explain why Peridot had to go check on this. Was the cluster like the last-ditch revenge weapon against the gems? Was it a form of fusion that was meant to help the gem homeworld? Because I have said that, are they trying to look into fusion more to help them survive? Is that what their whole big thing is? That are they trying to use fusion as a form of survival now, even though they no longer care for it? It is interesting that as much as they hate fusion, they're experimenting with fusion. It even feels like the cluster's something they're afraid of. They're actually, that it's going to be something like a world-killing kind of event, where it's when this thing finally hatches, it's going to blow up some planets. So I'm really curious as to where we're going to go with the cluster. All we know is that Peridot is now afraid to stay on Earth, because it looks like, it's not going to be well. It's not going to go good. Anyway, we also get a bit of an interesting point where Peridot is, after she's attacked by Garnet and poofed, she's bubbled and Steven frees her from the bubble, and she looks up to see all the bubbled gems, and she's looking up in total horror, and she says, you're going to harvest me? And that made me wonder, like, what does she mean by harvest? Yeah, really curious about that. Are the gems secretly harvesting the corrupted gems they had for their own power? That's a very dark point of view to look at. That the gems are just really, harvesting the energy off of them, because the gems are pretty powerful. Or are they using it to power the temple? So, I'm wondering where that's going to go. Also, it looks like Peridot has claimed Steven's bathroom as her new headquarters. And unfortunately for Steven, now he's got a bathroom buddy. That came off a lot worse than it was meant to be. But yeah, it's kind of sad, because now it looks like we're getting the start of Peridot's redemption arc. And yeah, she does feel very, she doubts Steven can help, but she's really, she does appreciate the help. So it does, and I am curious to see where this is going to go in terms of what Peridot's going to do, because I'm pretty sure a lot of us were kind of expecting Peridot to be, redeemable, but she's got a lot of ground to cover, really. She is, she's got a lot of ground to cover when it comes to redemption, because, the gem fusions, which I'm pretty sure that's going to be something that's going to be touched on between her and Garnet. Yeah, that's going to be something Garnet's going to bring up. I would be, I'd be a little cheated if, Garnet didn't bring up the whole thing with the gem fusions they ran into, and her, blaming Peridot for those kind of situations. I'm also kind of wondering, her reaction to, how well is she going to get along with, Amethyst and Pearl? So I think what's going to happen in the next few episodes, and this is just my opinion, I think what's going to happen in the next few episodes is that Peridot is going to be kind of like those you remember those episodes, the last few episodes of Avatar in Season 3, where basically Zuko went on all these, solo, soul-searching, jobs and missions with Aang, Katara, and Sokka, and kind of with Toph. I think that's what it's going to be for the next few episodes. I think that's the possibility of what's going to happen in the next few episodes, is that, at least in my opinion, I think that's what might happen, is that Peridot and Steven are going to be traveling with one of the other gems, and, Peridot's going to be, trying to gain their trust, and, kind of solidify her place there. We don't even know if, Peridot's kind of weak without her armor, so we don't even know if she has a weapon or something of that nature. We have no idea what she's not capable of anything. Again, she kind of depended way too much on that armor, so she may just be the one who hangs back and just be like the brain of the the brains of the outfit. I can honestly see her now, if they go with the full-on redemption arc, which I'm pretty sure at this point they're going to go with. I think what they might do is do something along the lines of, like, make her like a fusion of Zim and Donatello, where if you thought Pearl was a mad scientist, I can only imagine what Peridot's going to do. Especially, I really hope she's involved in this episode called Back to the Barn, where they go back, where apparently the episode synopsis for that is that the gems return to the barn to build robots. So I can't wait to see Peridot's version of robots. Yeah. But yeah, she kind of feels like she's going to be like something like Washu and Zim and Donatello all put into one big little mad brain of walking. Let's face it, Peridot is a walking meme. She is a walking meme factory. Seriously, if you go look up Peridot meme, guarantee you're going to find about a good 300-400 different pics and little gifs and whatnot. But yeah, really excited. Really great episode. I thought it was really great. I've said great like 3 times now. Great, 4 or 5 times now. So yeah, I just thought it was really awesome. I think it's cool that we're getting more info on the cluster, and yeah, it looks like even it's something that the gems don't know about. And are they keeping a secret with this whole harvesting thing? Really interested to see where this is all going to go. So you guys tell me, what did you guys think of the episode Catch and Release? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? And where do you think Peridot's story arc is going to go from here? Really curious to know what you guys think of all this and what your thoughts on all this is. So once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.